Beijing, China was recently the subject of the first ever air quality red alert, meaning the businesses and the schools had to shut down. This after a period of the orange alert that had some sectors of the industry curve down their activities. Children and the elderly were asked to remain indoors. People that had to go out, they were asked not to drive and not to walk. Instead, using public transportation, and if they were so inclined to go outside, use a mask, Margaret, because the air quality is terrible. But the crazy thing is that these allow two Canadian entrepreneurs to come up with an idea that is out of this world, but not so much.
Right.
Can Air. These guys are selling bottles of fresh mountain Canadian air for the Chinese to be able to breathe and have the delicacy of clean air. These are the new commodities? Are we going into a future where not only we're bottling water and damaging the planet by doing so, now we're canning air?
You know, it's genius, actually. I would buy some air if I lived in China. Do we know how they got started?
They did. They actually had many friends that went back and forth from China, and they were always complaining how bad the air quality was and how much they struggled when they went there. So as a joke, they put some fresh air in a Ziploc bag and put it on eBay, and the first one sold for less than $100. And then the second one that they put up actually sold for $168 after kind of a bidding war, and they say oh, we're onto something. So they decided to make this a thing, and now they're selling these twin packs or single packs in between $16 and $36 for Chinese nationals. The first 500 that are sold out, 4,000 more are on their way to China. Countries like Afghanistan, like Iraq, they already show interest in distributing this type of product. It's just crazy to think that we are now forced to can air from a different part of the world to bring it to these areas where pretty much we fucked up. We wasted the air, we completely contaminated. The suspended particles are so dense that you can't see a few feet in front of you.
Look, I think it's brilliant. We bottle water that we buy when you can just have water. Why not can air? You said $36 for one can. Do we know how many? 2 cans. How many breaths is that, I wonder?
135 breaths of 1 second. It comes with a mask where you can breathe. It's crazy. I mean, I understand that entrepreneurship, it's all about innovation. It's about finding intelligent solutions to problems that we face. But it's sad to see that at the time, 2015, it's what's supposed to be the hottest year in record. It's incredible. We see the climate change summit in Paris agreeing to keep the temperature of the world below 2 Celsius degrees from pre-industrial ages. But still we see that there are consequences, real consequences that we might not be able to clean up. And instead we're going to have to rely on the free market. And then the rich will be able to access clean air, but the poor won't. I mean, is that the future that we're looking for? A future where if your air is so bad, like in Beijing, that you can't go to the street and breathe without a mask, well, now you can go online and buy these 2 cans of fresh mountain Canadian air for $36 and have a fresh breath of air.